Hey, this is Stephen Platinum, your friend in wrestling, with Platinum versus Smackdown. This is from July 2nd, 2021. What can I say? An absolutely stellar show. If it's true that Bruce Pritchard has been moved over to Smackdown, one can hope that they just have so much good momentum going on that we will not start picking up the terrible habits of Raw. That would be the hope. And we've got stories going on SmackDown that are really good. We had the return of Zelina Vega, which I thought was really cool, even if the way that they went about using her right away was pretty asinine, but it's to be expected if I'm being honest. Let's just jump into it. So we open the show, and Edge is there. Yep. Michael Cole's there. He's at ringside with Pat McAfee. And Edge talks about how WrestleMania 37 was supposed to be the culmination of a 10-year story, but it didn't happen. He goes on about blaming Daniel Bryan, but then saying he's not blaming Daniel Bryan or Jey Uso. But 2006 Edge would have complained. 2021 Edge has to understand that there'll always be excuses and obstacles. It's great because it reads as very subtle, sort of towing that line between face and heel. Edge says he knows he can beat Reigns. Fans cheer. Reigns knows Edge can beat him. We see stills of Edge applying the crossface with a bar at WrestleMania, etc., etc. So, good opening promo. Edge has done generally very good work in the promo department since he's been back, and this is no exception. Paul Heyman's watching backstage. Jimmy Uso walks in and rants about what Edge was just saying. He can't believe Edge said all that. They're going to put Edge down and stab the family flag in his heart. Heyman just keeps staring at Jimmy. Shinsuke Nakamura and Big E against Baron Corbin and Apollo Crews. The story here being Baron Corbin is now no longer a king and he's broke and his stubble is growing back and it shows his hairline. He just looks a mess. That's the shtick. And he gets his car repoed, which distracts him, so he gets hit with a Big E's move and gets pinned. Wow. And they don't do anything really with Apollo Crews. They don't kind of continue a thing, which is nice. Often Raw, one of the problems is they try to get 3 things done in a segment, and SmackDown usually takes their time and does 1 or 2 tops. And this is a great example of that. Yeah. We see how Bayley and Seth Rollins defeated Cesaro and Bianca Belair in mixed tag action last week. Here comes Bayley. Pyro's happening. Bayley's getting all that heat from the crowd. Bayley says, we all know Belair is physically strong, but she's mentally weak. She's crumbling at the expectations, etc. Out comes Belair. Basically, Belair offers to put her title on the line with an I Quit match at Money in the Bank. Bayley accepts. Heyman is backstage pacing when Jimmy Uso walks up, and Heyman just keeps staring at him. And Jimmy wants to see Edge at the end of the show. That sounds like a bad idea. Last man standing match for Money in the Bank qualifier between Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. It's really good. There's just no other way to say it. It's a really good match. 2 guys that are really comfortable working together. And I was sure Sami Zayn was winning this bad boy. And then Kevin Owens with that ending of just power bombing him through all the previously unbroken announce tables and then on the floor, just brutal. Sami Zayn gets counted down. And we actually have a clean finish for a last man standing match. My God. So Owens is in Money in the Bank. So the Raw entrants are Ricochet, Drew McIntyre, Riddle, and John Morrison. And Big E is the only confirmed SmackDown entrant for the men's ladder match. And I just looked, Money in the Bank is 2 weeks from this Sunday. So they're well on their way of being able to set this thing up. Even though Raw has more people in the thing, SmackDown's right on time for promoting the Money in the Bank and getting things done. It's nice. Megan Morant stops Edge backstage and asks him about Jimmy Uso calling him out later. Edge talks about how he knows he's walking into a trap, but he doesn't care. He's tired of Reigns and the family and excuses, and they want to set the trap. That's fine because they're going to get an angry, vindictive son of a bitch, and he walks off. So it's the Mercutio factor, right? As long as people are calling out the obvious, then we can't use it to punish them. And it's smart. It's smart. So Sonya Deville makes her way out. She named Carmella to the women's Money in the Bank ladder match last week, and she's going to name another participant, and she names Zelina Vega. This brings Liv Morgan to the ring. She's upset about Carmella being put into it, and now Vega. So Liv enters the ring about how Vega doesn't deserve to be in the match, and so they have a match. Liv Morgan wins with a handful of tights, and that's that. Strange segment. Seth Rollins interrupts Adam Pearce and Sonya Deville backstage. He reminds them of his accomplishments. Rollins is not happy with Edge getting the title shot at Roman Reigns. They argue, but Deville and Pearce defend their decision. Deville tells him if he beats Cesaro next week, then he will earn a spot in the men's Money in the Bank ladder match. See how they're setting up next week's show? Very nice, very nice. Otis against Angelo Dawkins. This is actually kind of a cool match. Boy, Otis, like, whipping Dawkins' ass is something else. Otis really demolishes him. I would even call this a squash. He does a Vader bomb, and then that's it. Okay, we get it. Rick Boogs is taunting Baron Corbin with King jokes. Rick Boogs and his ridiculous playing of entrance music and playing music and just being an ass. It's a nice little spice on this show, if I'm being honest. Jimmy Uso and Paul Heyman are backstage. Heyman tells Jimmy, finally, says something, to be main event Jimmy and go out there and do what he needs to do. All right. So we got Jimmy taunting Edge from the ring. Jimmy attacks Edge as he enters the ring on the apron. They basically go back and forth, but Edge basically mauls him, does that bar to pull back like a crossface like he did to Reigns at WrestleMania, the picture that they showed earlier. Nice little thing that they did there. Jimmy's yelling out and tapping, and he drops the bar, and then he lets off of Jimmy and addresses the camera. Edge yells, "I don't stop," and Reigns did not appear. Here's the problem. That Smackdown, the one that I just talked about, did their lowest demo rating since the company moved to Fox back in 2019. Now, it was a down night of viewership overall, but people are really not feeling the WWE right now. And I hope this doesn't dissuade them, because SmackDown's been a great show, but it is interesting and noteworthy, is it not?